How's it going, everyone? David here with Delicato Media for another episode of Do You Even Watch Those, the show where I go through my physical media collection to prove that I actually watch everything that I buy. Today, we're going to be talking about the 4K release from Shout Factory of Escape from New York, starring Kurt Russell, directed by John Carpenter. And this is one of those movies that when this release came out, I've never seen this film before. This is the first time that I've ever seen this movie. And this release came out, I want to say, about a year ago now from when recording this video, so about May 2022, I believe. And I remember when this came out, it was a really big deal. And a lot of the physical media creators that I follow and I watch and I listen to were excited and picking this release up. And so I kind of just picked it up on a whim. I kind of am getting more into action movies and stuff. And so when I saw that this release, I picked this one up. I didn't pick it up right away, but I picked it up a little bit later, close to when it came out. And I sat down and watched this the other day, and to be honest, I'm not too sure why this movie was so hyped up. I guess for people that maybe grew up watching this movie is probably really important to them, and it's really, I mean, it is a fun movie. There's a lot of great action, and the way that the story plays out is intriguing, but I don't think that the execution was necessarily something that blew me away in a sense. It's one of those movies that I'm like, yes, it's good, but I don't know if it's as great as everyone says that it is. And maybe I'm just completely wrong and missed the mark here, but that's just the way I see it. The essential plot line of the story is essentially that Manhattan Island, I believe, is turned into just a big prison, and the United States has been able to eliminate crime by putting all criminals into this basically dystopian, like Mad Max apocalyptic setting, and they just put him in there and they do as they please pretty much. And so Kurt Russell is like an ex-soldier or something, and he's highly decorated, but then he robs a bank, and so he gets thrown in this jail. And while he's getting processed to go into the island, and the president's plane, the Air Force One, goes down in the city, and the people that live within the island, the criminals, capture the president. And so the defense coordinator or leader, I forget what his exact title is, played by Lee Van Cleef. For those who have seen like Sergio Leone westerns, he's in a lot of those. Um, he tells Kurt Russell like, "Hey, you're really good at doing secret ops stuff, so why don't you go and help us and grab the president? And if you don't get him, we'll blow your head off." So when I was watching this with my brother, and he was like, essentially, so this is like Suicide Squad, and in a way that it is, but it's not really. I didn't really feel like there was like that big of a weight that, oh, if he stepped out of line, they were gonna blow his head off. It was just more like if he doesn't finish on time, they'll blow his head off. And so it was cool. I think the pacing was pretty solid. I think the one thing, and I put this on Letterboxd, is that I feel like the pinnacle of action right now is John Wick, and John Wick is known for, and it's built upon its really stylized way of doing action and being hyper violent, but also kind of beautiful to look at the same time. And this movie is just a lot grimier, nastier. The streets are all wet all the time. You can feel the humidity in the environment, and I don't know if maybe it's just the moments that there are action in here. They're realistically, like technically speaking, they are pretty gruesome and pretty violent, but it feels really tame compared to what I've seen. And so I think, in a sense, the modern action movie has kind of desensitized me a little bit to when I go back and watch these older action movies, because they feel a little bit choppier, a little bit slower than what a modern action movie is. And there wasn't really a point in this movie that really got my heart pumping in my blood, just on fire, because it was like so exhilarated by what was happening on screen. And so, like I said, it's a good movie. I'm not going to take anything away from that. I think, visually speaking, this is an incredibly shot film. There are a lot of moments that just blew me away because they looked like they were a modern movie. And so, if you're looking for something to kind of feel like a throwback, but also if you're into the action kick, I would recommend this movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just that I don't think that it's necessarily this end all be all of action flicks that it may be considered in some regard. So moving on to the audiovisual aspects, like I said, this film is shot incredibly, and the transfer on this captures that phenomenally. It looks great. It's fantastic, even when watching like on just a regular HD TV, not necessarily a 4K TV, it looks incredible, and I just couldn't believe it. Seriously, I there's some shots in here that just looked like they were shot yesterday, and I don't know if that's more to credit to the people that shot the film or Shout Factory doing the transfer, but either way, a little bit of both. They did a great job, phenomenal presentation here. I had no problems. I thought the audio was actually great, and especially just one of the things when this is with the film inherently is that the gunshots just feel like little pellets sometimes, and that's how they sound. And I mean, unfortunately, that's just how it is. But other than that, like it was great sounding movie. It was a great looking movie. Everything was awesome. The score was incredible. Actually, also done by John Carpenter, and so great stuff. If you're looking for an audiovisual experience, I think you will not be disappointed by the way that this is presented. So moving on to the release itself, this is one that I got with the slipcover. So I'm going to slip this out. This is what it looks like, essentially the same as the slipcover. This is actually a 3-disc set. So this movie has the 4K, it has the Blu-ray, and then it has another Blu-ray just for special features. And I think that is so cool. It's the best part of any of these things. It doesn't have any reversible cover art. It's just the white. But when you get a disc, a presentation of a movie that's 3 discs and one of them is just for special features, you know that you're probably in for something really cool. And I know that when this one came out, they also put out like a collector set where you could get like a vinyl of, I think, the main theme. And that's pretty cool, but it's a little bit overkill for what I was going for. And since I've never seen this movie before, I didn't necessarily feel the need to pick it up. So looking at the special features, here's what we get. We get big challenges in Little Manhattan, the visual effects of Escape from New York. We get Scoring the Escape, an interview with composer Alan Hopworth. I Am Taylor, an interview with actor Joe Unger. My Night on Set, an interview with filmmaker David Cocteau. A deleted scene, which is the original opening bank robbery sequence with optional audio commentary. And we also have Return to Escape from New York featurette. We have theatrical trailers and a photo gallery. And that's on the Blu-ray disc for just special features. We also have an audio commentary with John Carpenter and Kurt Russell, an audio commentary with Deborah Hill and Joe Alves, and an audio commentary with Andrea Barbeau and Dean Cundy. So lots of stuff on here if you're looking to dig into the history of this movie. And like I said, it's a great presentation. The packaging, everything is great. And I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan in the world of this movie, but I would say that regardless, I think if you're into action, if you like Kurt Russell, if you like John Carpenter, those two are considered like one of the best Hollywood director actor matches, like a Scorsese De Niro or a Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson or Jason Schwartzman, something like that. Like it's like actors and directors that always work together, and this is one of those celebrated actor director collaborations. And so I would definitely say give it a chance, give it a look over, and if you see it, go ahead and pick this up. I do think that it's worth what you get here, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone, like I said, who's looking for a throwback action flick, or they especially like Kurt Russell in this type of movie. So yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on Escape from New York 4K from Shout Factory. I'll have it linked down below if you guys are interested in picking it up. And yeah, there's nothing else that I really have to say. Next video, I will be talking about another Kino Lorber Blu-ray, The Man with the White Suit. So this is another Kino Lorber Studio Classics release, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about this one because I actually really liked it. And so I will catch you all on the next video. Thanks for watching. Again, the blog and the podcast are linked down below in case you guys are interested in checking that out. Thank you so much. Please leave a like and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you all later.